Good day everyone, it's your boy Parker, and welcome back to Theme Park Parlay here on Adventures with Parker. As you can probably tell by the title of this video, today's episode will focus on yet another potential retheme to a dinosaur-based theme park land. Last week, Disney announced that Primeval Whirl, a reversion spinning coaster located within the Dinoland USA section of Animal Kingdom, would not be reopening, and that the attraction would be permanently closed and removed. The same announcement also revealed the permanent closure of Rivers of Light and Stitch's Great Escape. Now, I enjoyed Primeval Whirl as a kid, and it's really not a bad attraction overall. It just feels cheap and not up to par with the Disney standard you'd expect. In fact, the same can be said for the entirety of Dinoland USA. Come to think of it, how did we end up with this land anyways? Well, my friends, today we're going to talk about the history of Dinoland USA and what the future holds for this odd Disneyland. Could the removal of Primeval Whirl indicate that a retheme is on the horizon? And what could possibly replace this section of the park? Well, without any further ado, let's talk theme parks. Alright, let's hop on a time rover and take it back to the 90s, when an Imagineer by the name of Joe Rohde was asked to take the lead on a new project for a theme park that would be dedicated to animals of the past, present, and myth. What would eventually become Disney's Animal Kingdom.
First came the Magic Kingdom, then Epcot, then Disney MGM Studios, and now... Introducing the most adventurous Walt Disney World theme park ever. Disney's Animal Kingdom. The imagination of Disney gone wild.
The plans for this park were ambitious. This was no ordinary theme park, nor was it a simple zoo. It was a heavily themed, authentic, immersive world that would combine animals and attractions in Disney's largest theme park ever. While a large focus of the park was on real-life animals and conservation, prehistoric and mythical animals were also fundamental to the concept. However, their incorporation into the park was a rocky journey. Original concepts for what eventually became Dinoland USA were quite different from what you see today. Plans involved an area set around an active dig site. It was going to include a dark ride that took you back to the age of the dinosaurs, and a fossil dig site. Wait, hold on a sec. We actually got that. But instead of Chester and Hester's dino-rama, the area would have featured a dino-sized roller coaster called the Excavator, which would take guests on a high-speed adventure through a dangerous section of the dig site. Yeah, that's not exactly what we got. So, what happened? Well, as with most Disney concepts that are never fully realized, budget cuts. The failure of Euro Disneyland's opening meant that Michael Eisner, the CEO at the time, became a little more protective of Disney's purse strings, and a lot of projects were either cancelled or scaled down. Animal Kingdom Imagineers were forced to choose between Beastly Kingdom, the land themed to mythical creatures, and Dinoland USA, the land themed to animals of the past. Obviously, we know which one they chose. But even then, further budget cuts had to be made. So, the Excavator had to be scaled down to an off-the-shelf spinning coaster, and a new story had to be crafted for the area to fit the attraction. And thus, we have the Dinoland USA that exists today. A small fossil hunting town made famous by time rover technology developed at the Dino Institute, and the home of Chester and Hester's Dino-rama, a parking lot carnival created by local gas station owners who wanted to make a quick buck. Okay, we have to give the Imagineers credit. They had to work within the constraints that they were given, and the theme of the land is actually quite clever. It looks cheap and tacky and unkept, but it's kind of the point. But still, you gotta call a spade a spade. The Dino-rama section of the land really is just a few off-the-shelf carnival attractions in a parking lot. Intentional, yes, but that's just what it is. So that brings us to the present and future of Dinoland USA. With Primeval Whirl being removed, it opens up an opportunity for Imagineers to reimagine the land into something new. Something that's actually on par with the usual Disney theme park standard. But what? We're going to start by addressing the rumors that Zootopia could replace Dinoland USA. Now, let's stop there, because first of all, no. Don't get me wrong, I love Zootopia, and I think a Zootopia land would be perfect within a Disney theme park. In fact, there's already one in development for Shanghai Disney. But it just doesn't belong in Animal Kingdom. But Parker, what are you talking about? It's a movie about animals in an animal theme park. Duh. Well, there's more to it than that. The fundamental thing that underlies everything at Animal Kingdom is connecting people to the world of animals through immersive storytelling. Even when it comes to the mythological, such as the Yeti and the creatures of Pandora, the stories being told here are still grounded by the theme of conservation and respect for wildlife. Zootopia, on the other hand, is a story about human issues told through the use of anthropomorphic characters. Do you see the disconnect here? Now, I'm no theme park purist, and I truly believe that part of the beauty of theme parks is their ability to evolve and change over time. But these concepts are just so fundamental to Animal Kingdom, and I don't see them changing anytime soon. All that being said, if Disney did decide to go ahead and build a Zootopia land here, I would love to see a dark ride that takes guests on a high-speed adventure through the city's different biomes and districts. It could even be used as an opportunity to teach guests about different kinds of habitats. A gazelle show would also be pretty fun. But again, maybe save it for another park. I don't know, like Hollywood Studios or something. So that brings us to rumor number 2, which is an Indiana Jones themed area. I'm gonna be honest, I wasn't on board with this idea either, until I realized you could expand the idea from a land that focuses on the Indiana Jones IP to an all-encompassing South America section. This would match the other continental areas of the park very well, and would feature an immersive experience similar to those found in Africa and Asia, with its architecture, theming, and backstory. Of course, Dinosaur could be converted to become an Indiana Jones ride, like the ones found at Disneyland and Tokyo Disney Sea. They all use the same ride system after all. And the Boneyard could even be repurposed to an archaeological dig site. If you wanted to add even more Indiana Jones elements to the land, the Indiana Jones Stunt Spectacular from Hollywood Studios could even make a new home here. But it would need to be modified so there's more emphasis on the actual story rather than all the stunts. I would also love to see a trail with South American animals, similar to Africa's Gorilla Falls Trail and Asia's Maharaja Jungle Trek. An attraction themed around Paradise Falls from Up would also be a nice fit, perhaps some sort of dark ride or water ride. And of course, guests would be able to try some South American dishes at the land's restaurants. The final possibility we'll discuss today is for a land still themed to dinosaurs, but with a completely different story. Now there's a few things to keep in mind here. First off, Dinoland USA was created in the heat of the dinosaur craze of the 90s. Are dinosaurs still relevant and marketable in 2020? Second, any dinosaur-themed land at Disney would need to be able to set itself apart from Jurassic Park over at Universal. Well, to answer the first question, I would say, yeah, maybe dinosaurs aren't as big as they were in the 90s, but with films like Jurassic World being as successful as they are, I think that shows that there's definitely still a market. And the concept? Well, what if the land was entirely set in the time of the dinosaurs? It could build off the story of the Dino Institute as an on-the-field research camp completely surrounded by living dinosaurs. For the most part, the dinosaur ride would remain untouched. You would have to change the pre-show, audio, and final scene to create a new story, maybe add a few animatronics here and there too, but instead of saving an iguanodon from extinction, this story would revolve around a baby iguanodon that wandered into the camp. Your mission is to reunite it with its parents, braving the wild forest beyond the camp and in narrowly escaping encounters with the bloodthirsty Carnotaurus along the way. That's just one idea anyways. There are countless stories you could tell in a dinosaur-themed land. The rest of the area could include a boat ride and maybe even a large-scale coaster as a nod to the original concept. And what would we call this land? Easy. Disney could continue the continental theme and call this new area Pangea. I know, it's genius. Out of all the ideas presented in this video, I gotta say, I like this one the most. And not just because I'm a bit of a dino nerd. Like I said before, Animal Kingdom was made to connect people with animals of the past, present, and imagination. Preserving a dinosaur-themed land in the park would be the perfect way to keep this legacy going. But what about you? What would you like to see in a Dinoland USA retheme? Comment down below. While you're at it, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, share, and all that wonderful YouTube stuff. And follow me on social media at ADVParker. New videos will be released every Tuesday, so make sure you have notifications turned on and join us next week for another adventure. With that, I'm off, and the adventures are calling. See ya!